Hey loves, welcome back to another episode of the Thrive Like a Mother podcast. Today I'm talking to the woman who feels like you are being pulled in so many different directions. I'm talking to the woman who, like me or similar to me, you are multi-passionate. Sometimes when you are multi-passionate, you can start to second guess yourself because of an opinion that someone else shared about the season that you're in and what you're doing. So this episode, y'all, this one is a reminder. And I say it often. I've said it often throughout this season, throughout this entire year, and it's going to continue. Your path is your path. Your pace is your pace. Your process, all of that is yours. And so we're we're getting some tough love today. No one else, I don't care who it is, and we're gonna chat about some of the reasons you might be receiving, feedback, but no one else has to understand what you're doing in this season of life, the many passions that you have. No one has to understand all of them for it to be valid, for it to be still the thing that you need to be going for, or the things that you need to be working towards. And so let's have some real talk. Let's have some real talk. People are going to have opinions about what you should or shouldn't be doing in a specific season of your life. And this goes heavy for my mamas who, when you have little ones and maybe you start to pick up a passion project, maybe you start building your own business, whatever it is that you're doing, someone someone is going to come more than often and say like, "Hey, isn't that a lot?" I've heard it. I've heard it so many times. And y'all, a lot of the times, those opinions, they're not coming from a place of, you know, they're not coming from a bad place. They're coming from a place of love, a place of concern for you, like in your well being, really coming from a point of trying to protect you, right? But even if it is well meaning, most of the times it is. But it can still be hard to listen and absorb that because if you're working towards your goals, right? And you're doing the things and suddenly someone asks you, is that too much? Immediately in your head, you ask yourself too to respond, right? But then that starts to get the doubt to start creeping into what you've been doing, to your purpose, your path, and you start to question yourself, especially if it is coming from someone who you know loves you and you know it's not coming from a place of ill will. You know that it's someone that really does want the best for you. It's hard to hear that. So I want to give you some ways to kind of navigate through that and truly understand like what you do with that information. Because like I said, it can start to go left. You can start to doubt your path and your purpose and start to think maybe I am doing too much. Like I've been there. You are talking to a very multi-passionate woman. Y'all know I talk about it on the podcast, the many things that I work towards that I feel like all of it is still working together towards my purpose and my path. But sometimes someone looking outside, looking in, can look at it and say, wow, that's a lot, or the question I've gotten a lot is like, how do you manage it all? How can you possibly do it all? And so, like, you hear the comment, you hear the question, and you're spiraling, right? Am I doing it wrong? Maybe they might be right. Maybe I do have a lot on my plate. Or is there something that I'm missing? Is there something else that I need to be doing differently? And so, here are some things that I've learned. Take the feedback. When they say it, take it, listen, receive it, and hold space for it. Just hold space for it within yourself. Don't allow it to start to make you start spiraling out, but get curious. Get curious. If someone's asking you the question, Like, it's an opportunity maybe not to immediately respond and, like, defend yourself, but do get curious and tune back in within yourself and say, "Is this too much? Am I okay? How is my capacity right now? How am I feeling? How's my mindset? How's my mind health? How is my body? How am I feeling with what I have on my plate?" Because guess what? Your body is going to tell you if it is too much. It is going to tell you loudly sometimes if you are ignoring it. And so tune back in with self, listen into your spirit in those quiet moments, and don't feel like you need to immediately respond. Sometimes it's just hey, is that too much? Maybe sometimes take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going to think about it. Thanks for bringing it up, right? Because it is a moment for you to get curious and ask yourself the question, not in a way to defend against what they've asked, but to really, really tune into yourself. And these are things like tuning in with you is something that you can do often on your own, right? But sometimes when we get focused in on goals, sometimes we forget to ask ourselves, like, if we're doing okay, if this is too much, if there's anything that we need to be doing differently. And so sometimes someone asking you the question is actually a gift because maybe you haven't asked yourself in a while. Maybe you haven't tuned in with self to see like how you truly are doing. Because truly, like at the end of the day, y'all, you're the one who's going to know how much is enough or too much for your plate in this season. You're the only one that's going to know that. Even the person asking the question, coming at it from a lens of protection or from, a lens of well being, they're still not going to know exactly what is going to be enough or too much for you in a season because it's not their plate. And that's okay. Sometimes you can feel like something's aligned or not. Only you can do that. Only you can do that. Only you know that. Only you know your pace. Only you are able to set your pace. Only you can sense when it's time to either slow down or speed up. And that's why, y'all, I hone in on this message so much about listening in and tuning in within yourself because it's only you. It's only you that knows like what your healing looks like, what your family needs, what you need right now, what your capacity is right now. It's only you. And so here's the truth that can be hard to sit with sometimes. Um, but not everyone is going to understand your path either. Even the ones closest to you that love you, the most, who are in it and see you working towards these goals every day. Sometimes they may not understand it. And it's really, like I said, it's because it's not their plate, it's not their path. It's because it's your path and it's uniquely yours. And I love that about humanity. I love that we each have our own plates to fill, we each have our own paths to walk. And sometimes that can get lonely, but I want you to think of it from a lens of if they don't understand, okay, that's fine. They're walking their own path. They've got their own things on their plate. Their sole purpose is not to always check in with what's going on our plate and understanding fully what's on our plate. We're all walking different paths. We're all walking with different dreams. We're all walking with our own timing. And okay, somebody may not understand. Maybe it's the closest person to you. Maybe you really truly want them to understand. Guess what? They don't have to understand to be able to support you. They don't. Not fully. Not fully. They don't have to understand why you said no to an opportunity or why you said yes to yet another opportunity or why you haven't gone back to work yet, why you're keeping your baby at home while you start work again. They don't have to understand. why you're starting that business when it feels like your life is already so full with the kids and the appointments and all the things. That's okay. It's not your job to explain your every single move. And really, truly, your job is to keep walking your path. It's to keep showing up for you, for your family, for your growth. It's for you, right? It's your job to keep doing that. So, if you have been listening to this today and you're in this space where maybe you're questioning yourself because of a question someone asked you, whether it's that, is that too much? How do you handle it all? Whatever the question is, it's okay to take a moment to ask yourself the question because of someone else's opinion, but always come back to you. Always check in with your body. Check in with your peace. Check in with your capacity. Check in to see if your spirit is rising or shrinking with your path that you're on. Now, if you're shrinking, your body is loudly telling you that you need to slow down, or we need to pivot, or we need to something. Don't ignore that, y'all. Please don't ignore it. I will be firsthand to tell you that ignoring it gets you nowhere, but down for a little bit longer than maybe if you had listened that first time. If your body's telling you to, hey, yes, this actually is too much. It's okay to ask that question, y'all, because you will always know. You really, really do. And I want us to start trusting ourselves more. I want us to have that safe space within ourselves, to ask ourselves the question and answer honestly. Like seriously, answer like, okay, yes, this actually might be too much. What do I need to do? What do I need to do so that I lighten my load? And so we're going to circle back around. Not everybody's going to get it. Not everybody's going to get it. Let them not get it. There's my Mel Robbins moment. If you have not read that book, yeah, by the way, y'all, I am still working my way through it, but let them not understand. Let them, because again, like it's not their job. And y'all, thank you. Thank you always. If you have noticed a shift on the podcast this season, I have been coming to y'all with my heart, like every single episode. And so just thank you to everyone who has been allowing me to share that with you just by tuning in to every episode. Y'all have no idea how much like that impacts me and how much it lets me know, keep going. What you're saying, someone out there needs to hear it and listen in. And so if this episode gave you that permission that you didn't know you needed, because sometimes we need it, right? Sometimes we need to understand that we don't have to defend our path to anyone. Sometimes we need that reminder. So if you got that today, please share it with either another mama or another woman who you know is working towards some big ass goals, and they may be getting some questions from maybe the people that they love, or maybe just, strangers even. Please send this episode to them because they may need to hear it too. And y'all, so until next time, please keep trusting your path, keep listening within, and keep honoring your pace because it's yours. Remember, we're going to keep saying that. I think that's the theme of this season. It's yours. It's already yours. And let's keep thriving together. I'll see y'all on the next one.